Hello there and welcome to this three-part series on Photoshop 3D. Okay, now for most people out there, Photoshop is recognized as the industry standard when it comes to 2D manipulation. Not so many people understand that it actually can do 3D as well. So for you people and those who are interested in using it as a 3D application, I'm about to give you a slight rundown on how it works. Okay, so to get the ball rolling, I'm going to show you how to load in or import a 3D model. Okay, so first I'm just going to create a document window. Okay, give it an arbitrary size of 2000 by 2000. Sounds good. Okay, now to import a 3D model, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is go up to the 3D drop-down menu, which can be found at the top, and just go down to where it says New 3D Layer from File. Okay, now Photoshop recognizes a number of file formats, not too many, but the main one it does recognize is the .obj file format, which is pretty much industry standard or recognized by most 3D applications. And the 3D application you're using doesn't import or export a .obj, well, I'd say stop using it. Okay, so I've got a model here I've been working on, so I'm just going to open that one up. Before I open up the 3D model, you'll notice that it is asking me the 3D scene size. Now, if you click on the drop-down menu, you'll notice you can specify the size of the model in inches, centimeters, millimeters, or pixels. Now, this is more for when you go to print your 3D model out via someone like Shapeways. You probably need to specify the actual size of the model. I'm not going to bother at the moment because I'm just going to paint on the model. Click OK. No, I do not want to change the workplace. Okay, and now we've got a 3D model inside of Photoshop. Awesome. What it is, it's embedded into a standard layer. As we can see just down here in the layers palette. It's treated like a standard 2D layer, which opens up all sorts of things that we can do, which I will show you later on in the next lessons. But already I can now, create another layer and I can paint on that layer above my 3D model, turn that off. If I want to change the background color, which I generally tend to do, I can fill that layer behind the 3D layer with black or white. I generally like to have some kind of gradient going on, easier to work with. Okay, so now we've got the 3D model inside of Photoshop. The next thing we need to learn is how to actually navigate the 3D model. Now, for you people who are familiar with other 3D applications, you will find Photoshop's way of navigating the 3D model slightly clunky. So this is just one little hurdle I just got to mention to you before you jump straight in. And I'll show you ways of getting around that. First thing you need to do is press the keyboard shortcut V, and that will bring up your move tool, which on a standard layer allows you to move pixels around. If I select the 3D layer, what that does is that will change the tool to a 3D manipulation tool. So now I can navigate the 3D model. I can rotate it around. The way you do it is you click on the document window. If you move it left to right, you will rotate the object around the vertical axis. If you go up and down, you will rotate the model around the horizontal axis. All pretty simple. The problem now is if you want to move the model, you'll have to go up to the tool palette, straight up to the very top of Photoshop, and select the move tool. Now I can move the camera about. If I want to zoom the camera in and out, I'll need to go and click the zoom tool. Very, very clunky and just not a very intuitive way to work with a 3D model. You can also actually select the model and use the little gizmo that comes up with the object selection. So I can now rotate the object around using the little gizmo. Still not the most intuitive way of working with a 3D model. So I will put that back to its original position. The way I tend to work with Photoshop is I will have the pivot tool, so I'm orbiting the camera around the 3D model. To zoom in and zoom out, I'll actually zoom in the actual canvas itself, the document window. What I can do is I can rotate the model about. If I want to zoom out, spacebar and Alt, you can zoom in and out the actual document window. Let's kind of cool. Move the 3D model around, or the camera about. If I want to move the model around, I generally move the actual canvas around as well, just by pressing the spacebar. I have worked out also if you press Control, you can actually move the 3D model. You'll need to actually click on the actual 3D model to move it about. If you click off the 3D model around the transparent area of the layer, it will deselect the actual object. You'll need to click the object once again and start moving it about. Okay, so that's the best way I have found so far in navigating the 3D model. I'm kind of hoping that Adobe will bring out some hotkeys that are very similar to standard 3D application ways of navigating a 3D model. Awesome, so now we know how to move our object around. Next thing we want to do is actually learn how to actually paint on our 3D model. And I will talk about that in the next video. Anyway, I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video.